getting used to all this technology, working from home at the moment. So we're going to talk about what you get when you purchase Oracle Enterprise Performance Management. Then we'll talk about the two different packages they've got that you can buy. So they've got a standard package and an enterprise package. We'll then go a bit deeper into the Oracle planning and budgeting, and we'll have a talk about what we've built for some other clients. Then the good stuff, which everyone's come for, the demo. And then we'll run through some questions and answers. So if you've got any questions, as I said, put them on the chat window for the moment, and I'll answer those at the end. And at the end, I'll also unmute everyone's microphones so you can also ask questions and we can be a bit more interactive. So, Namos Solutions, for people who've not heard of us, we were founded in 2012 by Chris Mason, our CEO. We are just Oracle. We don't do anything else. We don't do any other company's products, just Oracle. We specialize in implementing and also supporting through our managed services, Oracle ERP, so Oracle ERP, your finance system, Oracle HCM, HR systems, so your HR, records, talent management, recruitment solutions. We've just implemented Oracle Recruitment ourselves. We run all our business on Oracle. We run Oracle Finance to do our finance, Oracle Expenses. We do our expenses through that. We do all our timesheets. We've got Oracle HR to manage our people. We've just gone live about a month or two ago now on Oracle Recruitment Cloud, one of the first customers in the UK to go live on it, and we just recruited some of our first few people through it. So that's going well. We also use Oracle Enterprise Performance Management to do planning, budgeting, forecasting, all that good stuff. We're award-winning Oracle partner. We won an award for Enterprise Performance Management last year at the Oracle User Group. We also won an award for our HR, our HCM work at the user group, so that was very good. And we are one of the first new modernised partners, as Oracle call them, on the new partner program. We're one of the first to get accredited for that. And that's all good. We work very closely with Oracle. As I say, all we do is Oracle, so yeah, we work very closely with them, work on lots of different projects, lots of different industries. We've got great breadth of experience, but we do a lot of public sector as well as a lot of commercial, so that's why we're doing this local government webinar today. We're passionate about delivery. So when I talk about delivery, success for me is I come back in 5 years and a customer's still using the system. Hopefully we have a relationship and I see you more often than every 5 years, but we're not about building the most technically complex solution in the world, which you can build very, very complex solutions, but we're not practical for a business. We like to build solutions that work for a business. We like to understand your organization, build that long-lasting relationship. All of our clients we've worked with are still clients. Most of them work with us under managed services, and most of them come back year after year with more stuff for us to do. And we enjoy having that very good relationship with our clients. We are all UK based. We are all employed by a company. We don't use contractors. No one's offshore. Everyone's in the UK. So from data security, that's a lot better. And also from getting hold of people, it's a lot better with everyone in the UK. Obviously, we spend a lot of time on site with clients, and it helps that we're UK based. So at the moment, it's all a bit different because no one's allowed out of the house. But usually I'd be on site with a client today, but today I'm at home. So It's a different world at the moment. So we've got unrivaled Oracle expertise. We've got consultants with many, many years of experience. I've been doing this myself. It's about 19 years now. Originally worked for the vendor Hyperion, who sold the product to Oracle. So I've been doing it up a long time, and most of our consultants are saying, 10 years plus experience in Oracle. All they do is Oracle. They don't look at other products. It's just Oracle. So, everyone's certified. We're very experienced. A lot of people have worked for Oracle in the past, or vendors like I've worked for, Hyperion, who was took over by Oracle. So we've got that close relationship. We know everyone at Oracle. So we can get you the best service. As I said before, we run all this software ourselves to run our business. So we're not just implementing something for you, we implement it for ourselves. We run finance, we run HR, we run Sales Cloud, we run Oracle support desk system for our managed services. We use everything Oracle. So we drink our own champagne, as Chris, our CEO, likes to say. We recruit the best talent in the industry. We're growing massively at the moment, a couple of 100% a year. We've got new starters joining constantly. I think we had 2 people start this week, 3 people last week. We've also got lots of graduates coming in. I think it was 6 graduates we got last year. We're looking to grow that again this year, because one of the things in the IT industry is getting the graduates, getting the new people into the industry. It's great to have all those very experienced people, but we need to get the new blood in. So we do a lot of work getting graduates in. Our CEO, Chris Mason, is a member of the Oracle Partner Advisory Board, which means we're one of the strategic and respected partners of Oracle. So we help them shape the direction of how they go in this country and how they work with their clients. Our aim is to become the most respected management consultancy in the Oracle marketplace. We think we've got a good reputation at the moment. We like to build on that reputation and grow with more clients. We pride ourselves on being professional. We are responsive, we're reliable. We put a customer first. Like I say, it's building relationships, I think, which is very, very important to us. With all that's been happening recently, I know we've all been in contact with every one of our clients to see, how we can support them during this trying time we're having at the moment. Do they need extra support for things? Do they need anything changed on their system to help people work from home, things like that? So, we like to build that relationship there. Expertise, as I've said, we're very experienced. We've got the right resources to deliver these projects, and trust is very important. We like open relationships, and we like to work well with the client. So big enough to deliver, small enough to care is our mantra. We're not a Big Four consultancy. We're not a huge SI. We're a decent size. We've got 70 plus consultants in the UK, which probably makes us one of the largest employed Oracle practices in the UK. So, and that's growing all the time, and we're adding more and more skills to our team. So, just a bit about how enterprise performance management's come around. So, back in the 70s, way before I was born, well, I was born at the end of it, you started to get basic accounting software applications. So people moved away from writing numbers in a book and going on to computers, putting the numbers in, and then that'd do all your adding up, create your accounts. Great. A lot better than old paper-based systems. Then we got to the 80s, and then it started to be spreadsheets that came in. So, Lotus 123, then Microsoft Excel eventually came in. And for a lot of organizations, forward planning and budgeting, that's where we've stuck. People are still using spreadsheets, which is what they were doing in the 80s. But what's happened now is we've got software to do this. Rather than people using spreadsheets isolated from everyone else, very little team working, you've got to add all them spreadsheets up at the end. And we know what happens when you try and add them up. Someone's adding a row in somewhere and nothing adds up. By using software such as Oracle Enterprise Performance Management, we can avoid those issues with spreadsheets. So we moved into the 90s Hyperion, which is the company which made this software which Oracle acquired and I used to work for, came up with some planning and budgeting and some financial consolidation software. And then we moved into the 00s, and we then went web-based, moved away from installing applications on your PC, and now we've got to a point where you don't have to install the software anymore. All of it's in the cloud. Literally, all you need is a browser to access the system. So it's no buying servers, working a lot with IT to get this product up and running. Now we can get you up and running with virtually zero IT involvement. So what is Oracle Enterprise Performance Management? It sits on top of the Oracle Cloud Finance and HR systems. It provides a reporting layer, it provides financial consolidation, planning and budgeting, etc. I like to say it's the icing on the cake. It's where the good stuff comes out of, the reporting, the analysis, the stuff that matters. It's moving away from just looking at transactions and looking at balances, looking at big numbers, looking at variances, modelling scenarios, doing the stuff that the accountant should be doing rather than sitting adding numbers up in spreadsheets all day. This is the good stuff, the analysis, which gives you the value to your organisation. For a lot of organisations, it's something new. There's a lot of companies out there with enterprise performance management. It's growing and growing, but there's still a lot of organisations who, as I say, are stuck to spreadsheets. We call it spreadsheet hell because you've got to do your budget, some people 100, 200, 300 spreadsheets scattered around the business. As I say, you try and add them up, it doesn't add up. People have added columns. It takes so much time. Rather than processing spreadsheets, let's move to focusing on your budget, getting the numbers right so your organisation can spend and get revenue effectively. So it extends your financial and HR systems beyond just the transactions. We're looking at balances. We're looking at the big numbers at this time. You can adopt enterprise performance management piece by piece, or you can do a big bang. You can implement all the products at once. We generally recommend people go piece by piece. It helps embed products in. If you try and go live with 5 products at the same time, it's too much for the average user. Let's do it one by one. Let's get it gradual. Let's get your users used to using these systems, and then we can get better adoption and people can use the systems more effectively. I've talked about Oracle a lot. We're not just tied to Oracle. So if you've got SAP, Microsoft, Unit 4, one of those other products out there, finance, for HR, we can still integrate with it. We can build on top of that. You don't have to be an existing Oracle customer. So it might be that you're thinking, it's my first journey into the cloud. I want to put one of my finance systems into the cloud. This is a good start because it's a small system. So you could start with this system and then look at Oracle Finance, Oracle HR in the cloud. Or you could stick with your existing systems and just use the enterprise performance management on top of it. Oracle Enterprise Performance Management, it's the best-selling Oracle Cloud product. So I think the last number I saw was over 7,000 clients worldwide. It's huge. There's a lot of big organisations out there using it, both in the public sector and the private sector. So we've got 2 different packages. that you can purchase. There's always an upgrade path, so if you start with a standard, the smaller package, and you decide in the future you need the extra components available in the enterprise package, it's quite simple to upgrade to that. Not everything needs to be used immediately. There's, as you'll see on my next slide, 4 products available in the standard package, and then there's 7 products in the enterprise package. You can start off just implementing one, and you can go live with the other packages as time goes on. Focus on what your immediate needs are. So most people start with planning and budgeting. It's usually the most important need, but other people start with financial consolidation because that's a big issue in the business. They can't get the accounts consolidated in a timely manner. Start with what's important for you. As I've said before, we believe phased approach is best. I think trying to put all the products live at the same time is just too much for your organisation because people need to get used to new processes, new ways of working, and trying to give them 5 new products and 5 new ways of working at the same time is probably too much because you've still got your day jobs to do. So in the standard package, what I get is these 4 products, or business processes as Oracle likes to call them. I get account reconciliation. So account reconciliation is a tool for reconciling your accounts. Does what it says on the tin, basically. It's about taking feeds from systems so you can say, this is what the balance is on this account, and this is the evidence that justifies it. So it may be balancing your bank accounts if you've got very complex lots of transactions on your bank accounts. We've got a client who's looking at it at the moment because they get invoices in at a group level from some suppliers, and then they need to then journal that cost out across the business, and they need to reconcile back to make sure that they've got that cost spread out correctly. They've also got currency involved in it, so it gets quite complicated. They're looking to use it for that, so they can say, yes, I've took that £1 million invoice and spread it across 28 countries, and I've done it correctly. We've got the correct money back to the group company. Financial consolidation close. So financial consolidation close is consolidation and close management tool. So mainly used by people who've got multiple finance systems or very complicated consolidation. So they've got things like partial ownerships, joint ventures, and they need to consolidate all those accounts together, produce the financial statements using the correct IFRS, GAAP reporting, all that good stuff. Mainly used by very large organisations or people who've got a lot of international organisations, or as I said, joint ventures, partial ownerships, that sort of thing. Planning and budgeting. So what we're going to talk about today, a tool for creating your budgets, your forecasts, modelling scenarios, and we'll go into that a bit further later. Or in the enterprise package, we've got 7 products, or as I said, business processes, as the Oracle terminology is these days. Enterprise data management. So that's a master data management tool for managing your hierarchies, your member names of your metadata throughout all the different products, software products across your organization. So it links with Oracle and non-Oracle products. So everything's named the same. So the finance department is called the finance department on every system. It's not called the accounting department on one system, finance on another, accounts on another. It's about making sure your metadata, your master data, is the same across all your systems. We've also got narrative reporting, which is a tool for creating reports with narration around them, so putting text around reports, explaining what the finances are, putting some text around it, explaining what's happening in the business, sort of tool to use to do your financial report at the end of the year, your annual report. profitability and cost management. So this is a really interesting tool. It's been adopted commercially a lot, not as much in local government, central government so far. I think it's going to be very big very soon. It's about working out how much it costs you to do things like deliver services. I know profitability isn't really a term hugely used within local government, but it's talking about how much does it cost me to deliver a service. So if I provide social care to a cohort of people, how much does that actually cost me? It's not just the cost of a social carers, it's the cost of all the other costs within the business it takes to support those social carers. So I think that's a very interesting product for local government who are being asked to do more with less money, and they need to be more in control of costs, know how much things are costing them, so they can go back to central government and go, what you're giving us is not enough. We can't cover the cost of those services with what you're giving us, and this is the evidence why. Tax reporting, just what it says on the tin. It's a tool for tax reporting, works with all different countries' tax systems, helps you produce all your tax reports correctly, all auditable, gives you a nice audit trail, gives you a nice way of reporting your tax, automates it a bit more. So, a bit more about Oracle planning and budgeting. So, it's a web-based tool. As I said, you don't need to install anything. You don't need any servers. You don't need IT anymore. But don't tell the IT department that. It's a tool the finance department can manage themselves and control and have less IT involvement and get the tool more suited to them. I'll put my Doctor Who picture on because it's about planning budgeting, it's about looking at the future, it's about time travel. It's not about just looking at what happened last month, though we can report your actuals out of it. It's about saying what's happening 1 year from now when I'm doing my budget. So I'll do my budget for next year. Then I can do strategic forecasts over 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, etc. So it's about modelling what's happening in the future. We know local government's going through huge change at the moment. We've got, lots of things happening, Brexit, current situation, as I'm calling it, because I'm not going to get into it. We've heard enough about it. We need to look at what we're providing, how we provide it, and then ultimately go back to government and say, we probably need some more money to support people. As I say, it's cloud-based. Oracle run it for you. They look after all that. It gets upgrades monthly, automatically. They come through to your test environments first Friday of the month, then 2 weeks later to your production environment. It's mainly adding new features and bug fixes. You don't really need to do any testing for the upgrades. If a new feature comes in, it will sit there until you want to use it, until you activate it. So it won't affect your current processes. You can carry on working how you do it. If Oracle introduce a major change, like at the moment we're just about to introduce a new interface, they'll keep the old interface for 1 to 2 years, so you don't have to change straight away. You can change at a time which is comfortable for you when your users have a chance to get used to a change. It's a tool to model change in your organisation, so model different scenarios, so model best case scenarios, worst case scenarios, model forecasts, model different funding models. So what happens if the government gives us an extra 5 million for social care? What can we do then? What extra can we do? What can we do if the government gives us £2 million to fix potholes, which I wish my local council would get because our roads aren't looking very good at the moment, I think, after a bad winter. The system's flexible. We can integrate with anything. We can integrate with your existing HR and finance systems. Some people will set it to integrate with social care systems, things like that, so it can get information from those other systems to help you build a budget. It can also be used for reporting, So a lot of our customers also use it as a reporting tool. It's got nice dashboards and reports in. We know at the end of the day, we build all these tools, and the most important thing to anyone is seeing a nice, pretty report at the end of it, because that's the output your customers see, your internal customers, your external customers. You know, when the council asks you, can you give me a report saying how we're doing compared to budget this year? You must show them a nice report, not just a spreadsheet full of numbers, because non-finance people don't understand that. The most popular uses in local government are workforce modelling, which is employee level planning, which is something we're going to cover today. So that goes down to individual employees, because we know employee costs are 60, 70, maybe more of your actual cost of your organisation. And also budget monitoring, which is the favourite of local government, is another very popular use of it. We've got a local government accelerator, as we like to call it, which will get you up and running quicker. Based on the current model, which I'm going to show you today, we can just slide in your setup in your organisation, so your subjectives, your objectives, load them into the system, and we can run with that, load in your employee grades. Our accelerator will get that all working very fast. We can also build any custom models you need. So things like if you want a social care model, because we know social care, huge cost to people, or you want a model for your schools, for instance, we can build those custom models. The software also comes with 5 frameworks. So we have financial statement planning, which is things like income and expense, balance sheet, cash flow, all that good stuff. It can be driver-based, trend-based modeling. Also, we can do direct input of numbers. Workforce planning, as I said, employee level planning, that's something we're going to show you today. Capital asset planning, so planning the life of your assets, planning depreciation, etc. It depends. Some people will use this in local government, some people won't. It depends how much capital investment you've actually got. Project financial planning. So we can plan for projects for the future. You may have projects going over multiple years, big IT projects, maybe projects to regenerate town centres. You know, one of the big things I know for local governments at the moment is town centres are dying, retail's dying. You know, people don't go to shops anymore. We all just shop on Amazon, get stuff delivered. We don't go to shops on Saturday buying clothes as we used to. So, you know, I know a lot of councils. My local council just bought bought it last year, big shopping centre in town. They're looking to regenerate that. So planning for those long-term projects, we can do all that. Strategic modelling. So strategic modelling is long-term planning. So as I said, 3-5 years into the future, looking at what's going to happen. We can then use those strategic plans as a top-down model when you build your yearly budget. So it all integrates together. As I say, we can pull your actuals in. We can use your actuals to inform the budget. We can use your HR data to inform the budget and any other data you need from other systems. So what have we built for other clients? So we are working with a local authority at the moment. They're just about to go live with this solution. They've built strategic planning, so long-term planning, budget monitoring. They've also built some employee level planning and some reporting out the system. It was planned budgeting was a new system for them. They had a budget monitoring homebrew system they had, but this has produced a new system which is a lot more supportable, a lot more dynamic than the old system, and their users love the new interface. They find it a lot easier to use than the old system. The next phase is we're looking at with that local authority are building a detailed model for social care. As I said, social care, huge cost for councils. I was shocked when I saw how much it costs them. And we're also looking at planning and budgeting for schools. So they've got about 40 schools. And we're looking at rolling planning and budgeting out to all those individual schools to give the schools a bit more visibility of what's happening and where they are against budget. Because at the moment, the existing system they use, SIMS, is okay for transactional stuff, but people don't really know where they are against budget, and producing reports for schools takes weeks and weeks at the moment. And implementing a system where they can have those reports push buttons straight away, so it's giving the power back to the users. We've worked with a number of universities to implement planning and budgeting, mainly financial statement planning, cash flows, bit of a bigger one for universities, maybe than local government, because their income's a lot more variable with getting students in, etc. Employee level planning, big one for them. 70+% of the costs of their university are employees. We've got very, very high pensions, the same as you guys, which are rising all the time. So modelling those correctly is very important to getting the university on budget. We've also done student number planning for them and lots of reporting. We just implemented for a charity financial statement planning, capital expenditure and reporting. They are going to do employee level planning next. I was actually just speaking to a guy from a charity today. He said, I might as well take my budget, set it alight and chuck it out of the window, because with what's happening at the moment, the budget for next year has just completely and utterly changed. So he's happy to have a tool like this so he can model that change a lot quicker. Their old budgeting process took months and months. He's now going to do a complete new budget in less than a week. So having a system has speeded that up for him. It used to take 3+ months to do it using spreadsheets. Another client, we've implemented very complex scenario modelling and reporting for very large multinational financial services company. They're very complex. They are in 20+ countries. They use every single currency in the world. Currency variance is a huge effect on the organisation, so we've done lots of modelling around that. There's lots of other projects. If you want to talk to us more about what we've done and what we can do for you, I've got my contact details and Matt's, our sales directors, on one of the slides at the end. So just get in contact with me or Matt and we'll help you out. Now we're going to go into the demo, so I'm actually going to show you the product. So here we go. When I log on, this first screen is customizable. What I'm seeing at the moment is customized view for a user. So all these tiles here, we can have as many tiles as you want. If you're an administrator, you'd see by default, I think it's about 12 tiles. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. We can give each of your users different views, so they only see what they need to see. Security is, sorry, excuse me, I've got hay fever. Sneezing my head. We can give different users different views. Security is core to the product. We can control what the user sees in terms of what they see on the screen, what data they have access to, down to a single cell of data if you really wanted to. So don't worry, people won't see what they shouldn't see in the system. So we've got two tiles here, so finance and workforce. So finance is my budget monitoring, then workforce is my employee level planning. So first, I'll go into my finance task. So as you see here, I've got my budget monitoring. So at the moment, I'm looking at my Executive Director of Resources. I'm looking at the Customer Services Cost Centre. And in this, we've also got analysis codes, or you may call them project codes. It's showing me what my current year to date is, so what my actuals are, what my budget is, what the variance is towards budget. We can also load commitments in from your financial system, what the variance is, and now I'm going to do my November forecast. So what I can do is I can use drivers. So the drivers spread values out, so I can spread evenly, or I can spread based on budget. So what I can do is, if I was spread evenly and then increase my salaries by 10,000, I can enter that. I can enter any commentary I want. So put a comment in, I just save that form. It tells me my data's been saved, the rules run successfully, and across the side it updates my forecast number and then shows me what my variance is against my forecast. So I can go through, do all of my accounts like this. On this form, we are just doing it as a monthly level. We're just entering one figure for a year. This is something a lot of our clients have asked for because they don't really go down to entering numbers monthly all the time. Sometimes they just want to enter what the year total will be. So this is a way of entering the year total, then spreading it across the months. We can also enter at a monthly level as well if I want to. I can go in and actually input numbers into my month. So I can go through, build up my budget monitoring, build up my forecast for my area. You can change areas, you can look at different cost centres, different analysis codes to complete all your budget. Obviously, you only have access to certain cost centres and certain analysis codes depending on your security. Then we've got some reporting. We've got a dashboard which shows us our objective on the page. So it shows me what my FTE is in my executive director department, what my headcount is, shows me some actuals versus budget graph, some actuals versus forecast. Then we've got another budget monitoring dashboard. So these are good dashboards which, for executive management, for senior management, it's a good view on the page to see what's happening in a particular area. So in my executive director resources area in customer services, my budget's 4.5 million. My November forecast was 2.8 million. We can see how the forecast has changed by month. We can show different expenditures by categories. I'll look at our forecast, income and expenditure. Here I've got some more reporting. So reporting by objective and analysis codes. So I can change and look at my different departments. We've also got reporting by objective. Again, we can enter commentary against all this because changing numbers is great, but actually explaining why you've changed something is very important. So we can enter commentary against all of these changes. Then we can report by service theme. One of the great features of this product is what we call predictive forecasting. So instead of you entering numbers, you can actually get the system to actually predict and run these numbers for you. I think I just need to change the setting on this to go to the right costs department. Sorry, I just need to change the setting to see this. So here we go. We've got my data now. So predictive forecasting. So what predictive forecasting does is the system runs some simulations, some predictions. It looks at your history and it actually tries to predict your numbers. So I can say here, look, I've got my actuals April, May, June. It's July now. I want to try and predict what my government grant will be, what my wages, what my salaries will be. What I can do is just right click on the cell, go to predictive planning. It runs a prediction, it looks at your history. There's all different setups so you can tell it what history to look at. And as you see here, it's showing me how my historic data goes and what my predictions will be. So the system can actually tell you what will happen in the future. So here it's predicting 41% growth rate. It's showing me what the risk of it is. It's showing me what my best case, my worst case scenarios will be. I can then apply this prediction back and enter this prediction from the system as my forecast. So this works well when you've got quite a lot of history in the system. It can start to predict what will happen with costs, what will happen with revenue in the future. You can produce different forecasts, so you can produce a user-created forecast and a predictive forecast and see which is more accurate. I can also look at my trends within my forecast. So for salaries, for wages, etc., I can look at all my different trends. All these dashboards are customizable. They're very easy to create. We would expect your power users to create them. You wouldn't give every user access to create dashboards, because if you do, you're going to end up with 4,000 dashboards. We would expect you've got 2 or 3 users within finance who are power users to create them themselves. These dashboards don't need to be created by IT. It's something finance can do themselves. Then we've also got a report to show me my surplus and deficit. And sorry, I'm going to have to speed up a bit now because, sorry, I've just realised it's 10 to 12. So here we've got a report. We can customise all these with your logos, etc. Shows us our predictive forecast, shows us our manual forecast. I'll just quickly take you through the workforce stuff. We'll have to do it in about 5 minutes. Sorry, I'm having to rush a bit here. Let me just change what I'm looking at for this. Sorry, I just need to change my setting back so I get some data on this. Usually you'd just be looking at one part of the system, so you wouldn't have to change your settings like I have to do. Let me find a cost center with some data in it. Okay. Sorry, just give me a second here. Sorry, I just need to change the setting to get this data out. We set up your different users on the system and don't have access to all the data. There we go, finance. That's where we've got some data. So we start off our workforce planning, our employee level planning with a dashboard. So in the finance department, my salaries are 577, other benefits, overtime, what my employer's NI are, my pension, what my FTE is, my headcount. Look at some different graphs around overtime, salary, etc. We then import the data from your HR system, so it shows us who is working in this department, what their graded bands are, what their employee type is, or whether annually or hourly paid, different pension schemes, and working hours to calculate an FTE value, whether casual staff. We can also put commentary in against that. We can edit that HR data. Sorry, I'm rushing a bit now. So if you want to increase someone's grades and bands, you can do that. We do automatic incrementing of grade and bands according to your rules. We can also add in any new employees you're going to hire and with a start date. We also have what we call grouped employees. So if you've got a lot of employees on the same grade, there's a lot of turnover in that department, things like cleaners, call centres, you can just group those employees, so you don't need to go down to named employees. You can just say, I've got 100 employees at grade A, they're hourly paid, and they're on the LGPS pension scheme, so you don't need to pull each employee individually. Once we've done that, we can review everyone's pay individually, make any changes, put any notes on. And then we calculate this away from into your chart of accounts structure, and then you can enter that into your budget. As I said, all this is based on drivers, so we've built in all the rules around, for instance, LGPS pension scheme, local government, and also we put in a second pension scheme, TPS, which is a teacher's pension scheme. We can build any pension schemes you want into the system. We also build all the drivers in, so we can calculate national insurance, calculate tax. So you want your tax, so you can calculate your cash flow, what standard working hours are to calculate your FTE, etc. And we can also build all your salaries and bands into the system, and you can change these to model what happens when you increase these grades and bands. Sorry, it's a bit of a rush through the workforce demo then. If you'd like to see any more demo, like a personalised demo in future, like I say, please let us know and we can arrange it. So we are getting towards 12 o'clock now. I don't need to rush off, but I understand other people might need to rush off. So we'll have some question and answers now. I'm just going to unmute everyone if I can work out how to do that on this system. Right, everyone is unmuted now, so you may be individually muted. So if you do want to ask a question, please unmute yourself and ask away, please. Is there anything anyone would like to ask about? Anything they've seen? Anything more they'd like to see? Any questions about how this can be implemented within your company or anything else?
Not a question, but thank you very much for taking us through the demo. I appreciate it, Jonathan.
Sorry, you're breaking up. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Okay, so we've got something in the chat window. Okay, thanks, Ben. Well, if there's no questions, we shall wrap up. I know everyone obviously is hugely busy at the moment. I hope that was useful to you today. If you want any more information, please get in contact with me on LinkedIn. My telephone number and email address is there. Give me or Matt a call. Quite happy to speak to you about anything, whether you've just started looking at systems, whether you just like to chat about what you're looking at in the future. We're always available to help. So thank you everyone for attending today, and I hope you all have a great day and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you everyone.
Great, thanks Jonathan. And if people are a bit shy in terms of talking to an audience, by all means do drop us an email, either Jonathan's email address there or mine, Matthew.
Great.
Thanks for everyone's time.
Thanks everyone. Thanks a lot for your time.
Cheers, Jonathan. Speak to you later.
Thanks
Great.
a lot.
Thank you.